Hey there, American Idol fans. I'm Veronica Dudo. The Season 8 Top 10 are said to have been the most talented group yet. Currently, they're traveling all over the country for the Summer American Idol Tour. I caught up with winner Kris Allen and fellow idols Danny Gokey and Scott MacIntyre for a backstage interview.
The beauty about American Idol is it takes, I guess, fairly more regular people and makes them pop stars, I guess. And so it's completely life-changing. We're making albums. We are on tour right now, on a big tour, playing in arenas. And I've never been on a tour in like small clubs, so this is such a change from my life before. So things have completely changed for me, I would say.
What's next for you after the tour?
We come up with an album in November, so
tell us about that.
We've been working on it, doing a lot of co-writing stuff, and so I think we got some good stuff so far. We're trying to finish it out. We're trying to get it out in November, so I think it's going really well.
Now this has been a very unique year, obviously with you and Adam and just everyone's just amazing talent.
Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, you're doing a lot of things together. How is that going?
No, I think I think the weird thing about us is that, there was like some competitive nature, obviously, but in that there was also like a lot of, we got along incredibly throughout the whole year, and I can say that we've talked about like having reunions and all that kind of thing, like at everybody's house, and so like every year, like having the 10 people come back and just have a good time. But so I would say we're really close, and we've had a great time spending it with each other, and and it'll be a sad day when the tour's over for sure.
Now Paula Abdul's contract hasn't been renewed. I'm sure you're probably being asked this a lot. You guys were the last, I guess, to experience the show with her as a judge. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the show's gonna miss her. I really do. She started out the show, and she did so many great things in that show, and I think she was, more than anything, she was a lot of the reason people watched, and she was so loving, and she never had anything bad to say, and even like talking with her backstage, she was just like the nicest person, really, and giving gifts and like inviting us to dinner and all those kind of things. Like she's so nice. So I think the contestants will miss that. I really do. But the show has to go on, and it's American Idol. They will prevail, I promise. But Paula will do. I'm sure she will be fine. I have no doubt about that.
Now, she also really tried to help everybody find their own niche. In doing so, tell us a little bit about, where you see yourself and the direction you're trying to move in with your music.
I would say what I'm going to do is definitely in that pop rock genre. It's obviously very big, but I think when people watch the tour show, they're like, oh, okay, I get it, and it's kind of like that soft rock, pop rock kind of thing. So I'm very excited to get the album out. Really am.
Tour's been amazing. It's been wonderful. It's a dream come true. Since we were children, we dreamed about this day, and it is like coming full force, and in a huge way too.
Now, kind of, just with talking to the other idols, everyone is saying that it's just so wonderful not to have the pressure of the competition and to just relax and enjoy each other's company. I guess that's a sentiment you share as well. It's probably very different.
Definitely is. It definitely is. I mean, I think eventually our goals are to do our solo tours, but it's good coming off of like a super high competition to now we want to work together to flow as a whole show. It's exciting, and now we want to move into our own careers and start defining ourselves as artists.
Tell us, what's next for you after the tour?
I have two things that are in the #1 spot, and it's cut my album and work on my foundation.
Could you tell us about both?
Yeah, the album. Have a record company that looks pretty promising. Hopefully we'll be signing and cutting the album very soon. We'll be finding more out about that very soon. And not only that, the foundation. The foundation is something that I started in my wife's honor. And it's basically just a touch to do acts of kindness, I should say, in the most general sense, to do acts of kindness and touch families' lives and change them for the better. Families that were in bad situations or in rough neighborhoods, just doing things that will bring a change of events so that their life can be something more than what they ever thought it could be.
What is the foundation called?
SophiasHeart.org. I mean, that's not what it's called. It's called Sophia's Heart Foundation. But they can find out more information at www.sophiasheart.org. It's Sophia with a PH.
PH. Now, obviously you had such a huge fan base, and you opened yourself up and shared very personal experiences. What has that been? I mean, I'm sure the fans are still there and supporting you and your foundation.
I have the greatest fans in the world, I believe. I really do. And they've stuck with me, and opening myself up to them, I was okay with that because it brought healing to me. When you go through a tragedy or anything in life that's just disappointing, it's hard to find your way out of that thing. But I found my way out of it. I made the right choices, I believe, to go on American Idol. It was the last year I could do it. I never could do it after that because I'd be too old. And so I made the right choice, and now it's funny because when you us humans have the power of choice. It's the most powerful thing. We can choose how we react to the situation. And I felt like I reacted well. And like the message that I want to tell people now, it's your time to react. How are you going to react to a failure or a disappointment, or even when someone looks at you and says you'll never be anything in life? How are you going to believe what they say, or are you going to believe in yourself and go pursue what is inside your heart?
This is something I've been dreaming about since I was a little kid, and I can literally remember picturing in my mind and thinking through this and imagining what it would be like someday if I could be here. And I never knew my first tour would be such a big stadium tour. I've done a little bit of independent touring in the past, nothing like this at all. And I'm so grateful to the show, and especially to the fans for putting me here, for believing in me, and now for coming out to the shows. It's amazing to meet the people behind behind those camera lenses on the show that we never got to see.
So I guess that's another big difference between the tour and the actual competition.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, there are so many differences. I could talk all day, but it is very nice to have the audience we're performing for under the same roof with us. We can feel their reaction, which in turn compels us to move forward. It's really an amazing chemistry that happens.
What's next for you after the tour?
I have many plans, actually. I'm using all my spare time on the tour. Whenever we get a day off, I'm making phone calls. I'm doing all that. But my album is coming out in the fall. I was able to begin that process as soon as I left the TV show, and it's about midway through production right now.
Wow, that's wonderful.
It's entitled Scott MacIntyre, View from Above, as in the view from above. And
that's awesome.
But and there's actually an EP version of it out right now.
Really?
On iTunes, but the rest is to come. And
tell us, all your fans, what can we expect on this?
Yeah, it's all original music. It's along the lines of John Mayer, Gavin DeGraw, Vanessa Carlton, One Republic, a little bit of Bruce Hornsby in there. That always figures in somehow, but it's very exciting for me because it's all original, and if people actually want to get a taste of a couple of the tracks that are on the upcoming album, they're on my MySpace. You can hear a few of the songs. It's myspace.com/Scott MacIntyre, and give you a little sneak peek of that. But I've also been approached to write a book, oddly enough.
Really?
By a book publisher that's very renowned. I've talked to a lot of music publishers about writing for other artists, other bands. So I'm definitely looking at kind of a multifaceted career because I love performing.
Range.
Obviously, I love performing. I'd love to continue to write for myself, but for other people as the years go on as well.
Absolutely.
And then I've done a lot of inspirational speaking and motivational speaking. I think the book ties into that. I'd love to keep sharing the parts of my story that I didn't get to share on the show.
Is there anything now that comes to mind that you would like to talk about?
Well, there's a lot to fit into any one interview, but just as an example, one thing I didn't talk about on the show was my battle with kidney failure, and I broke that story on the Regis and Kelly show after the fact. I didn't want to talk about it on the show because I didn't want people supporting me based on anything but my artistry and my voice and all of that, and then I felt like it was the right time to bring it up when I left a few weeks ago and really tell people more of the full story. But I mean, every time I stepped on that stage was just just an amazing experience for me because I had all of this stuff in the background that I had come through to get to that point. You know, a year and a half ago I could not travel, I couldn't leave my hometown. At times I barely had energy to sit and vocalize at the piano. I went through a lot of other things, but I'm healthy today, I'm doing well, my donor is doing well, and it's really something I'd love to write about in detail, you know, as one of many things I've experienced in my life. And I'm sure I'll be writing more books in the future. I love to write, and I'm only 24, so I have a long way to
career
go.
ahead of you.
But there's just, you know, I've experienced a lot for my age, and I think a book would be a fabulous venue to showcase that in. But I'll announce all that on the website, and hopefully that'll be coming up soon.